Imagine it's Christmas morning in 1979, and kids everywhere are tearing open presents to find lightsabers, tiny video games they can hold in their hands, and toys they saw on TV between their favorite cartoons. We're going to travel back in time to discover the coolest gifts from that Christmas. Learn how electronic games first let you play anywhere you wanted. By the end, you'll know exactly what made Christmas 1979 so special, and why some of those toys are still famous today. Welcome to Goalie's Pip Academy. Let's jump into our time machine and zoom back to 1979. Picture this: no smartphones, no tablets, no internet. But Christmas 1979 was one of the most exciting Christmases ever for toys. So what made it so special? Well, 2 years earlier, in 1977, a movie came out that changed everything. It was called Star Wars, and kids absolutely loved it. Star Wars had spaceships, laser swords called lightsabers, and characters like Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Chewbacca. Oh, and there were also these funny little robots called R2-D2 and C-3PO. Kids wanted to play Star Wars everywhere. But here's the thing. When Star Wars first came out, there weren't many toys ready. The toy company called Kenner wasn't prepared. So for Christmas 1977, they actually sold empty boxes. Can you believe it? Empty boxes with a promise that the toys would come later. By 1979, everything changed. Now there were Star Wars action figures everywhere. These were small figures, about 3 3/4 inches tall, perfect for your hand. You could get Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. Kenner also made playsets. You could get the Millennium Falcon spaceship, Death Star playstations, and X-Wing fighters. Kids could recreate every scene from the movie right in their living rooms. And here's why these toys were so special. They let kids use their imagination. You didn't need batteries or a screen. You just picked up your action figures and created your own Star Wars adventures. The stories were whatever you wanted them to be. Star Wars toys were the #1 thing kids asked for in Christmas 1979. Quiz time. Multiple choice question. What movie made Star Wars toys the most popular Christmas gifts in 1979? A. The Wizard of Oz. B. Star Wars. C. Superman. D. E.T. Think about it. The answer is B. Star Wars. Great job!
Hey, you're watching Goalie's Pip Academy, where we teach about science, geography, history, everything about the whole world. If you want to watch these classes with no ads, no distractions, go to getgoalie.com.
Now, let's talk about something else that was super cool in 1979. Handheld electronic games. Before 1979, if you wanted to play a video game, you had two choices. You could go to an arcade with big machines, or you could play on a home console connected to your TV, like the Atari 2600. But in 1979, something new appeared. Companies started making tiny electronic games you could hold in your hand. These were the very first portable video games ever. One of the most popular was called Merlin. It looked like a red telephone, but it had buttons that lit up and could play 6 different games. There was a memory game, tic-tac-toe, and a music game. Merlin even talked to you with beeps and boops. Another super popular game was called Simon. Simon had 4 big colored buttons: red, blue, green, and yellow. Simon would light up the buttons in a pattern and play musical notes. Then you had to copy the pattern. The patterns got longer and longer until you made a mistake. There was also football made by Mattel. It had a tiny screen with little red dots. You controlled a football player and had to run past the other dots to score a touchdown. It sounds simple now, but back then it was incredible. Here's what made these games special: freedom. Before handheld games, you were stuck in one place to play. But now you could take your game anywhere. It was like magic. Kids brought these games to school, on family vacations, and to restaurants. Parents liked them too because the games kept kids busy during long car rides. Time for second quiz. True or false? In 1979, kids could only play video games on big machines at the arcade or on a TV at home. Think carefully. The answer is true. That's right. Before the handheld games came out, those were the only two ways to play. Okay, now for our third big topic, Saturday morning cartoons and toy commercials. In 1979, there was no internet, no YouTube, no Netflix. If you wanted to watch cartoons, you had to wait until Saturday morning. Every Saturday, all the TV channels showed cartoons from about 7 in the morning until noon. Kids would wake up early, pour themselves a big bowl of cereal, and watch show after show. There were Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, Super Friends, and so many more. And in between the cartoons, commercials. Lots and lots of toy commercials. Toy companies knew that millions of kids were watching TV on Saturday mornings, so they made exciting commercials to show off their toys. When Star Wars toys came out, Kenner made commercials showing kids playing with the action figures. The commercials had the Star Wars music playing. They showed the Millennium Falcon flying through space, even though it was really just sitting on a kid's bedroom floor. The handheld electronic games had commercials too. The Simon commercial showed families having fun together. Kids watched cartoons on Saturday morning. They saw the commercials for cool toys. Then when Christmas was getting close, kids would tell their parents, "I want that! I saw it on TV!" Parents listened. So when Christmas shopping time came, parents bought the toys their kids had been talking about. Time for our third quiz, multiple choice question. Where did toy companies show their ads? A. Bedtime stories. B. Saturday morning cartoons. C. Dinner table. D. Library books. The answer is B. Saturday morning cartoons. Excellent work. So let's put it all together. Christmas 1979 was special because three big things happened at the same time. First, Star Wars toys were everywhere, letting kids use their imaginations to create space adventures. Second, handheld electronic games appeared, giving kids the freedom to play video games anywhere they went. And third, toy companies used Saturday morning cartoons to reach kids with exciting commercials that got kids dreaming about toys. When you put all three together, you got one of the most exciting Christmases ever. Even though 1979 was a long time ago, some of those toys are still popular today. And the idea of handheld games turned into the Game Boy, Nintendo DS, and now games on phones and tablets. It all started with those simple handheld games from 1979.
My mind is blown! Where can I learn more about these videos? Oh yeah, getgoalie.com. There's no ads, there's no junk, just cool stuff for kids and a dedicated tablet. Check it out, getgoalie.com.